Hello YouTube, one question I see all the time is Mecharashi actually free-to-play friendly? And right behind that is another one. It is already too late to start. I get why people ask. You open YouTube, see veteran players clearing extreme challenges, showing a fully built roster, posting challenges clears that look completely ridiculous, and it's easy to think, yeah, there is no way new player is catching up to that. I have even seen people say that newer extreme challenges are basically impossible, unless you are spending money or collecting every meta pilot that get released. And you are kind of right about that, because for now almost everyone uses Asuka for extreme challenges. But after spending a long time on the Chinese server as a completely free-to-play player and now starting over again on global, I think a lot of people have the wrong idea about how progression in Mecharashi actually works. So in this video, we'll share my experience. I'll show you my free-to-play CN account, the pilots I have, the pilots I'm missing, my extreme challenges clears, and my new global account that is still going through the early game grind. This is actually the exact point when I started playing on the CN server. What funny is that I skipped Rosa Judgment because I was completely newbie. I had no idea which pilots were good and there were no guides available at that time. By the time I learned that Rosa Judgment was actually incredibly strong, her banner was already gone. So when I started on CN server, I had neither Asuka nor Rosa Judgment. Two of the top meta pilots weren't even on my roster. Now, this isn't one of those videos where I tell you everything is easy, because it isn't. Some stages are super difficult. Some challenges will make you restart multiple times. Sometimes one bad move is enough to ruin the entire run. But difficult and impossible are two very different things. That's where I think a lot of discussion gets mixed up. Let's look at the CN account. This account has always been completely free to play. No monthly pass, no battle pass, no paid packs, nothing. Everything on this account came from regular gameplay, events, saving resources, and dedicating carefully when to pull. And honestly, after global launch, I wasn't even logging into CN every day anymore. Most of my attention shifted to global. I skipped a lot of new pilots, ignored plenty of banners, and still managed to clear the extreme content. Not because I own everything, not because I got insanely lucky, but because over time I built the account with enough tools to handle different situations. And that's probably the biggest thing newer players misunderstand. The goal is to build a roster that can solve problems. But yes, it will take a lot of time before you can build strong roster. Now let's talk about the pilot roster, because this is where a lot of assumptions start falling apart. Whenever people see extreme clear, they immediately assume the player must own every broken unit in the game. That's kind of true for now, especially with Asuka and soon Rosa Judgment. However, things will change after Rosa Judgment release. Many strong pilots will become available and you'll be able to choose from wider variety of characters you enjoy playing. That said, some pilots will still have advantage over others because of their unique gimmicks and mechanics, which can make certain challenges much easier. If we look at my account, sure, I have some strong pilots, but I'm also missing a lot of highly rated pilots. Some pilots that people call must-have. I never got them, and yet the account still cleared every extreme challenge. Why? Because Mecharashi isn't really a game where one character suddenly solve everything. A strong pilot helps, obviously, but team building, equipment, match investments, positioning, understanding stage mechanics, and planning your turns usually matter for more than people think. Having meta pilots won't automatically clear a difficult stage, and missing one doesn't make the stage impossible. Now, let's talk about extreme challenges, because this is where most of frustration comes from. You hear the things like, the game is too hard, extreme is impossible, developers are making content for whales, and honestly, I understand where those reactions came from. Extreme stages can be brutal. Sometimes you spend half of hour testing different approaches. Sometimes you need to change your entire build. And yeah, sometimes you fall right before the finish line and have to start over. That was me, that was you, that will be us. But that's also kind of the point. Extreme difficulties is supposed to push our account. It's supposed to test our strategy. It's supposed to make us think. If everyone clear every extreme stage on the day one without efforts, it wouldn't really be extreme difficult anymore. The important question isn't whether the content is hard. The important question is whether a free-to-play player can eventually clear it. And based on my experience, the answer is absolutely yes. But hey, not for new players or those who are still newbie, like let's say 1-2 months. That's not enough. Now for newer players, because this is where expectation matter. A lot of players start the game, watch veterans account showcases, and then expect their own account to look similar after a few weeks. Yeah, that's just not how it works. Those veterans accounts have months or sometimes years of progression behind them. More gear, more upgraded mechs, more developed pilots, more options, more flexibility. A new account simply doesn't have that yet, and that's completely normal. Personally, I would say it takes roughly 3 to 4 months of consistent progression before account start feeling genuinely comfortable in endgame content. But that's after all the systems such as overclocking are fully available. For global, where we are still getting new feature, it may take even longer. Veteran players will continue getting access to new progression system, while new players are still catching up on older ones. Then, once they finally catch up, they will also need to work on the newer features that were added later. I know this is the bad part, but because of that, the gap can take quite a while to close. Maybe faster if you extremely efficient, maybe slower depending on your pulse, but either way, there is progression curve. And honestly, that's what you expect from a long-term strategy game. Is Mecharashi free-to-play friendly? For me, the answer is yes. Not because the game gives you everything, not because progression is effortless. It's free-to-play friendly because patient player can eventually build teams that can clear all the content that matters. And that's the huge difference. Owning everything and clearing content are not the same thing. And for the second question, is it too late to start? Veteran accounts will always be ahead. We cannot avoid that. But have you seen my CN account? No Rosa Judgment, no Asuka, no Ophelia, no Melissa. Many of so-called must-have pilots were never on my roster. Yes, it wasn't easy at the beginning. For quite a while, I couldn't clear many extreme challenges. But once I built a strong roster and understood the game better, I was able to clear every extreme challenges. Some were easy, while others took a lot of trials and errors. But they all get clear in the end. If you are a newer player and you are worried about falling behind, don't stress too much about it. Focus on learning the game. Build your roster step by step. Make smart decisions with your resources. Be sure to ask the community Discord. There are a lot of veterans there, me included. And keep moving forward. Eventually, those extreme stages that look impossible today will become just another challenge you are already beaten. And if you got your own experience with Mecharashi, CN account or global, whether you are a veteran or just starting, let me know your thoughts in the comments. New players would definitely love to listen other opinions as well. By the way, soon Rosa Judgment, Hype, and this time I will be not skipping her since I know she is strong. And she is 100% waifu for me. Thank you guys for watching and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye!